authority, man began to call upon the name of the Lord. So from this we can infer that when we pray, that means that we are failing to recognize the superior subordinate relationship and the benefit that flow from it. In the law of landlord and tenant, thank God we are in the law faculty, so I'm free to speak any law. You know, there's a time when we say that you have to atone tenancy to your landlord. That means that when you are in the position of a tenant, there are certain obligations that you need to give towards your landlord. And when you break any of these obligations, you may be ejected. So when you bring this to the prayer realm, prayer is when we atone lordship to God and we trust that we will get it. Failure to pray therefore means that we are declaring unilateral independence. Those of you who are politically minded will remember that in 1865, something happened in Africa here. No, when people were getting independence through the right channels, you fight and Britain will give you independence. But in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, the white minority didn't wait for proper independence to come to them. Those days, a certain man called Ian Smith, he did what we call unilateral declaration of independence. He declared independence for Rhodesia without any support. So no wonder he was stigmatized and Rhodesia became a pariah. Nobody could associate with it because it was seen as a rebel country because of declaring independence unilaterally. So anybody who doesn't love, when you openly rebel against authority, then you are proud. But I tell my pastor that as you sit here, some of you don't even, you say da. But I know those who are proud. Those who say da. Your body language itself is about pride. So pride is not when you show open sense of submissiveness. No. Pride can be found in your body language. And the body language of this person, I believe, is the greatest indicator or index of pride. Because you are full of yourself. And think that when you put God outside the equation will still balance. Those of you who did chemistry, I believe you remember balanced equation. It was not easy those days. When the equation doesn't balance, it was not easy. You need to try and make sure that you bring certain things here and there for the equation to balance. And also accounting, you also bear with me that when the accounting books fail to balance, thank God we have a guru here, Dr. Akufu. Dr. Akufu is a guru in accounting and he knows what I'm talking about. When the accounting books don't balance, and I know some bankers will never leave the banking hall or will never be allowed to leave the banking hall if our equation balance without God. So who is? I have the structures, I have the machinery, well-oiled machinery, which can give me all the results. So why is God in the equation? So no wonder we struggle unnecessarily because God is outside the equation. I believe we've all heard and fallen in love with this popular hymn. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry. Everything. We all know what happened when Joshua was able to accomplish a great feat in Jericho. It was so overwhelming because Jericho in those days was a superpower. And the manner in which the victory was chopped of Jericho. So Joshua just chose some few men that if Jericho fell by this, the mathematicians say that if more or less divide, if such a great country or a great city fell with so many people, then let's do proportionate and send so much people there. And they were disgraced. And Joshua came before God. And God told him what had happened. I believe that if Joshua had been so humble and gone to God at that time, God would have told him that, please don't go. There is sin in the camp. One of you has misbehaved. So please wait before you go. But he went because he felt that, look at my track record, my CV, replete with successes. Look at the ease with which I have accomplished things. And this small town, I overwhelm it. David knew best. Goliath fell. But one thing that I loved about him is that any small thing, God, should I pursue them? It is so obvious. If somebody comes and takes your wife and your children and everything, Pastor, I'm in Bible. If you're a young lady, somebody comes and asks for your hand in marriage, the best thing you tell the appointment, which from on the face of it appear better than what you are, you tell the person, please, on the face of it, your offer is very juicy, but let me go and pray about it. And people prayed about it. So as you pray about it, you see something, or somebody will see something, or as Dr. Edwards will say, something will see something, or something will see you. And you come, and one person will say that as we prayed, I saw somebody like this, A, B, C, D. It appears where you want to go, there's danger, so please come out. And we respected our pastors, we respected our senior men, we opted out that every communication worthy of a sort is sustained by communication, meaningful communication. Marriages break down when communications or the communication gap gets out of hand. The Lord walked with Enoch before translating him. But before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God. Abraham was a friend of God who got so closer to God through constant interaction and communication. At that time, I didn't know how to handle it. My wife would come and would try and test my pulse with some communication. Those were days I would do. So depending on your response, the whole day will be a civil war, in quotes. But as I grew, I realized that it dispelled. Communication. Recently, I had I'm one of the service providers. I had this SIM, for the internet, what do you call it, charter? This SIM card or for internet. I've forgotten the brofdin. Modem. Thank you very much. And after some time, I don't use it. But when I went to them, they told me, after some 2 months, if you fail to use it, power to the faint. To them that have no might increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fail. But those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. As if exchange your strength for someone else's strength. So what it means is that when you go to God in prayer, you wait upon God in prayer, you are renewing your strength. In other words, you give your old CDs at the counter and you collect new CDs. And when you do this for some time, we begin to check. Hey, there are some sports enterprise, depending on how you look at it. Because there are some renewables that you need to pay for it ahead of time. The fear factor is high in these times. 1 John 14, 5, 14 and 15 says, and this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatsoever we ask him, we know that we have the petitions that we desire of him. The confidence. Cast not away your confidence, which has great recompense of reward. You need a patience that after you've done the will of God, you might receive the promise. So, a prayerless person is devoted. The prophet came to a family and he gave you. You see, the woman's prayer life was such that then she began to tell the man, this happened and and I told you didn't, mind me, and it happened. This and this didn't happen because when I told you, the woman gave the man a litany of past experiences where her prayer and what the Lord had given to her was able to save her. So she said, no, as for this, if it is true, let me wait for the Lord. The woman had confidence. We have run all over the place because we fail to pray on our own. So we don't have confidence in him. The next point is that those who fail to pray also fail to accept the fact that there's an ongoing battle in the spiritual realm. Those who pray understand that there's an ongoing war and battles are fought every second. So failure to pray means that you've abandoned the front line. And in the army protocols, when you abandon the front line, you can be shot on sight. Nations which are in a state of war, technically, are always prepared. Until recently, there was a state of war between Ethiopia and Eritrea. There's been a state of war between China and Taiwan because China believed that Taiwan is still part of China. North and South Korea, they have that state of war until recently when there appears to be a thaw in that state. Prayer reminds us that there is an ongoing battle. And we are better off when we pray. So those who care less about prayer, they forget about the battle. So we come and we have, certain fractures, spiritual ones, we have certain attacks because there are landmines all over the place. And in times of war, we all know the lifestyle. People intentionally create a system where in state of war, you dare not feel at ease. We've heard so much about it this morning. And let me affirm what the main speaker said and what I said last night. That there's no record of any revival in this world without prayer. I'm talking about the prayer that moves mountains. In all cases, the narrative is clear. The narrative is very, very, very one way. The people who were dissatisfied with their situation decided that we need to change what is happening. We need to intervene in the way things are going. One man shall say peace, 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 peace. There's sudden destruction. It has happened in greater civilizations. When those civilizations fell at ease in Zion, they felt that everything was going on well. Then suddenly, things happened. The church of today is so comfortable with outer prosperity. And at the Old Testament, we say we are settled on our lease. When you have impurities in water and you shake it, you can see that the impurities are just vibrating in the water. When you put the water down for let's say 30 minutes, you can drink it because the least of the impurities will settle down. That is what is happening in the church of today. There are so much filth, but because we've settled, when people get closer to us, they see on the surface clean water. But when there's a shaking, then they cannot do so stand. We eulogize prayer. We have prayer conferences. We seek a prayer. But to practicalize it's another problem. Leonard Ravenhill, who wrote Why Revival Tarries, he said something that at a conference, big conference, a renowned minister came, and the first day he told the whole camp of the conference to have a burden for prayer. Have a burden for prayer. How many of us in this hall are that same burden? People will just look left and right and they rise up. Beloved, by the time this conference is over, we are going to leave that burden. We need to pray. And according to the story, the second day of the conference, based upon what has happened, they declared a half night. And that minister had gone to sleep. It was so obvious that the way that guy had spoken about prayer, they were expecting that he was going to spearhead the prayer movement that night. But he was nowhere. No revival can ever materialize. No revival can be sustained without prayer. In fact, places where you have ongoing revivals are places where there is a sustained prayer movement. The Christians in the south of Korea can boldly say that they are responsible in most part for what has gone on in Korea. Because those were days when the prayer movement, they will be up on the mountains, lifting up their hands, holy hands, praying to God in the rain and in the cold. It is said that the only power that God yields to is the power of prayer. God yields to the power of prayer. And no matter how insignificant you might be, God will yield to the power of prayer. In the 80s, there's a story about a prominent American televangelist who went to the then USSR. So he was led to some of the churches to see how the church in USSR was faring. So they sent him some of the underground churches. And when he saw the churches, he came back to America and said on the pulpit, wow, when you go to Russia, the church is made up of praying old ladies. I mean, it was meant to spite them. Because when he saw his congregation, his television audience, huge. And when he went to the so-called church in Russia, he called it praying old ladies. But when the Berlin Wall fell, the man watched it on television. And within 1 year, glasnost, perestroika, blah, 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 the wall of Berlin has broken down. The man was held aghast. The Lord revealed to him, that is the power of praying old ladies. That is what praying old ladies can bring out. The man come to himself, wow, what powerful politicians could not do, praying old ladies have been able to bring the Iron Curtain down. Don't despise the power of prayer. Prayer in the hands of any person, no matter how insignificant that person might be, is a powerful weapon. No wonder one of the queens of England, I don't know whether it's Victoria or one of the Elizabeths, is reported to have said that he feared the prayers of John Wesley or one of those saints more than the combined artillery of France and Japan. He feared one man praying because he knows what their prayers can do or do. Revival in us, beloved, can come through prayer. We can set up committees. We can set up structures. But I believe that the key to a turnaround in our times is when we come with a focused prayer to change things. Unfortunately, we now appear to have a lot of burdens ourselves. So now our conventions are being turning into retreats. We seldom have time to go out and do what we need to do, because when we call a convention, you need to spend all your time delivering even the so-called saints in a person in quotes. Anytime you are leading prayer session and you raise up a prayer for Ghana, see that the prayer appears to. Anytime you lift up a prayer